everyone, and welcome back to the Adventures in Collecting YouTube channel, where we take a closer look at the toys we talk about on the show. And today we have a double feature for you, really a triple feature, because got a hint back there. But today we are taking a look at two Mego figures, courtesy of our friends at Mego and at Collection Obsession, Think Threefold. So they sent us over a bunch of awesome Mego figures to take a look at. I am going to give you kind of a sample of some of what they sent. So we are going to be taking a look at the Masque of the Red Death from Phantom of the Opera. I already opened that because I have zero chill. But then we are also taking a look at two other new offerings. So we have the Christopher Lee Hammer Dracula. Super excited because they also recently announced that we're getting a Peter Cushing Van Helsing. So very, very cool, and you can never have too much Hammer horror on your shelf. And then part of their sci-fi collection, we're taking a look at Ultraman. So ton of new Ultraman figures have been announced from everybody from Masque to Tamashii Nations, but we are taking a look at the Ultraman from Mego here. And you know, first off, like, these packaging treatments here are so evocative of vintage toys. I mean, we have Marty Abrams' picture there right on the back, who is often considered the father of the modern action figure, right? You know, these are super cool. They have the nice horror label right in the corner. Whether you are an opener or whether you're collecting these mint on card, there is value to it both ways, as you'll see once we open it. But yeah, the card art is wonderful. You get the super red blood. You know, again, like, you know, perfect for a Hammer figure. And then, you know, the likeness there of Christopher Lee. And you could even see that through the cover here. The Christopher Lee likeness is amazing, down to, like, the red eyes and everything. Oh, can't wait to open this. And then, you know, of course, with Ultraman, same thing. We get the really cool art. Really retro vibe throughout. Super, super cool. Let's pop these open and let's take a closer look at the Mego Hammer Dracula, Ultraman, and let's bring them in too, and Masque of the Red Death. All right, so here they are. Here are our three Mego figures out of the package. They look great. I can't wait to dive in and kind of show you a little bit about this. I just learned a ton of new things about Mego figures that I was not aware of. So we have Masque of the Red Death, we have Ultraman there in front, and then we have our Hammer Dracula in the back. So I'm gonna use the Masque of the Red Death as kind of our walkthrough analog here before we kind of go into, like, just the detail. So what's great, you know, in terms of accessory, he comes with a removable hat. The hat fits him really well. He's able to you know, he's able to hold it by the brim, and, you know, you can do fun things where he's kind of, like, you know, guarding his face and everything. The cape comes off. It is a really nice material, super soft. It's really great. The reason why I'm picking him is he's the easiest to kind of undress, because I can show you some of the fun things here that make Mego figures interesting. So his coat is simply Velcroed. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of slide it off here so that you can see the arms. So what's interesting is these are basically, I don't know if you can really see inside there. Yeah, there you go. These are basically big G.I. Joes, man. So, you know, you do have that, that thing with a G.I. Joe figure where, you know, the arm kind of doesn't necessarily, like, you have motion of it, but the arm doesn't kind of stay, because it's held in by a, you know, by a rubber band. So that there's just kind of like a maximum direction in which the arm can go. And I mean, you can find ways to get it to kind of stay, but, you know, that is a rubber band in there that's holding it. And same goes for the legs. So I mean, you know, you do have the ability to move them, of course. Like, you know, he can kick out, he can kick back, but just like the arms, the pants are a little bit more, so let me just slide these down a little bit. Again, like, you know, same thing with the hips. Like, if you recall any G.I. Joe figures, so he does have a ball joint in there, but it's held in with the rubber band. He has kind of that O-ring system that the G.I. Joes had. So I think the best way to kind of describe these figures in terms of posability, like you can definitely get them into some poses, and you'll see in a second. You know, I'll show you that this guy could very easily do the walk, but he, you know, he does. There is limitations. You know, there is a single jointed knee that, you know, you get a significant enough bend out of. There's no rotation or anything. He is completely molded, his legs, as you'll see with Ultraman and with Dracula in a second. They have removable shoes, but, you know, you can twist him at the waist, you can get the head twist, and, you know, you can kind of get him into a walk. Let me just balance it right, and I'll show you. But, yeah, these are super cool. It's all about just kind of finding the balance. And of course, I'm not going to be able to get it right now. But yeah, I mean, you can get some poses out of these. They are action figures. They're, you know, have a little bit more of kind of like a doll aesthetic to them, you know, because of the soft goods and the, you know, the removable outfits and everything. But at the end of the day, you know, these are certainly, you know, action figures, and the retro vibe of them is just, it's otherworldly. I mean, Ultraman is just wearing a big suit, you know, with a, you know, Velcro at the back. He does have removable boots. What's nice is he, unlike Masque of the Red Death, because he doesn't have a completely molded boot, he does have ankle articulation. So that is something that it's not, there's no rotation on it, but he does have up and down ankle articulation should you want to remove the boots. And the outfit does go straight to the feet. So I mean, technically you don't need those boots on because they are printed on, but it's a nice little added bonus. You get the little gem, the little the nice little paint details in here are great. Yeah. I mean, this is Ultraman, and it looks like a figure straight out of the, you know, the 60s or 70s, which is awesome. So I will say for Dracula, so he has a cape with a tie, which, you know, obviously you can untie if you want, but he has multiple layers on. So, you know, you can take his jacket off, and underneath his jacket, he does have an additional vest with a dicky, which I love. The vest does not go to the arms though, so, you know, there's no like just white shirt look with him. It's kind of, you would be going to a vest, and he does have nice little buttons there. Again, the trousers, he does have removable shoes, so here you'll be able to see that you know, that single joint articulation there. You know, it's just, these are so iconic, and you can see too, like, just look at the detail in the face here. I mean, that is no doubt that's Christopher Lee, and that's all sculpt. You know, they're not using any kind of 3D scans or you know, or anything to kind of get that likeness. They're doing this the old-fashioned way, right? As you would say. But yeah, these are really cool figures. Let's see how they scale, and you can see they're all the same height too. There's no difference in height. So let's see how they scale with some other figures. Okay, so here's our Christopher Lee Mego figure, and then just for some scale comparisons so that you can see what you'd be looking at, you know, in terms of having him with other figures. Here he is next to Masters of the Universe Origins Skeletor. So, yeah, quite a height difference there is to be expected. If you were doing some kind of horror shelf and you wanted to include him, I do not have any 8-inch cloth NECA figures, but I can pretty assuredly say that, you know, he would scale with those. Here he is, however, next to a NECA Ultimate Michael Myers. He's an inch taller, 7-inch figure, 8-inch figure. And then, you know, we'll pull Skeletor out here for a minute. Just gonna put him in front. And here he is next to a Diamond Select Crow figure. So you can see that there is, you know, there is a scale thing. I mean, these are 8-inch figures. They will scale better with 8-inch figures. I feel like that goes without saying. But like I mentioned, you know, NECA has that line of 8-inch clothed figures that are very closely modeled after the aesthetic of, you know, what Mego is famous for. So if you have some of those characters, they will scale height-wise. They may not scale proportionally, because the Mego figures tend to kind of have like a more action figure toy look to them, whereas NECA is kind of always shooting for realism. So, you know, as you can see, this is what you could expect with displaying your Mego figures. Let's flip the camera around and let's wrap it up. Man, I mean, these, so as you saw, these are the coolest. I was not a Mego person, you know, growing up. They were, you know, the history of the company has been very, you know, wavy over the years, you know, where they've kind of disappeared and now they're making a resurgence. So I was a little bit kind of sandwiched between that. So it's awesome now that, you know, the kind of the relaunch that started in 2018 is giving us these awesome figures and a chance to, you know, kind of experience the magic of Mego, if you will. But yeah, these are amazing. I mean, they're specific, right? These are very specific figures for a very, very specific type of collector. So, you know, at 8 inches tall, you could see that they, you know, scale will be an issue for some people, you know, depending on what you collect. I don't have any of the NECA 8-inch cloth figures, but those are very much so inspired by the Mego look and the Mego format. So, you know, if you have something like the Fog figure, the Captain Blake figure, the 8-inch clothed Freddy Krueger, the 8-inch clothed Ghostface, if you have a horror collection in that scale, these are going to fit in perfectly. Otherwise, this is kind of their own thing, as you know, as you can see. You know, having a first experience with these is interesting. I wasn't expecting them to have kind of that O-ring, you know, G.I. Joe style. That, you know, I found that very surprising. But these are amazing. I absolutely love them. A big thank you again to our new friends at Mego and our friends at Collection Obsession for sending these out. They are a ton of fun. I have more to open and take pictures of. I can't wait. And pretty soon we'll be announcing a giveaway with a chance for you to win some Mego figures of your own. And you can get yours. We put a link to these in the bio, but if you have a separate window open, you can just go to walmart.com/collectibles, and there is a Mego landing page there where you can click on that and you can get access to all of the latest Mego figures. So with that, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down there so that way you don't miss videos like this as we continue to take deep dives into the toys that we love. And while you're down there, hit that bell icon too so that way you get notifications when we post a new video. While you're subscribing to things, make sure you follow us here at AIC_podcast on Instagram and Twitter, where we're constantly posting toy photography, toy news, when pre-orders come available, when things come back in stock, sharing toy news. We're doing everything that we can to make sure that the community is informed and having fun. And then, of course, the podcast. So where it all started, the Adventures in Collecting podcast can be found wherever you find podcasts. Simply search for Adventures in Collecting or hit the link in the description below, which will take you to our website, and you can find all the links to the things that I just mentioned. The podcast is new every week. We have a new episode every Monday, and we have a ton of fun. So we go over the news, we do interviews. It's a good time. Stick around after the fade for some additional pictures here of our Mego figures. And as always, until next time.